What Happens After Death by Shlomo Yaffe and Yankee Tauber. Part 4. What is heaven and hell? And I'm going to explain a little bit here. When it speaks about pain, it's not talking about being in rivers of fire and pitchforks poking you and stuff like that. It's talking about you're sitting there watching something similar to a video of all the things you've done, good and bad, and it all pertains to shame. Pain as in shame. I shouldn't have done that. And you repent. That is what this is speaking of. Heaven and hell are where the soul receives its reward and punishment after death. Yes, Judaism believes in, and Jewish traditional sources extensively discuss punishment and reward in the afterlife. Indeed, it is one of the 13 principles of Judaism enumerated by Maimonides. But these are a very different heaven and hell than what one finds described in medieval Christian text or New Yorker cartoons. Heaven is not a place of halos and harps, nor is hell populated by those red creatures with pitchforks depicted on the label of non-kosher canned meat. After death, the soul returns to its divine source, together with all the godliness it has extracted from the physical world by using it for meaningful purposes. The soul now relives its experiences on another plane and experiences the good it accomplished during its physical lifetime as incredible happiness and pleasure, and the negative as incredibly painful. This pleasure and pain are not reward and punishment in the conventional sense, in the sense that we might punish a criminal by sending him to jail, or reward as a dedicated employee with a raise. It is rather that we experience our own life in its reality, a reality from which we were sheltered during our physical lifetimes. We experience the true importance and effect of our actions. Turning up the volume on that TV set with that symphony orchestra can be intensely pleasurable or intensely painful, depending on how we played the music of our lives. When the soul departs from the body, it stands before the heavenly court to give a judgment and accounting of its earthly life. But the heavenly court does only the accounting part, the judgment part that only the soul itself can do. Only the soul can pass judgment on itself. Only it can know and sense the true extent of what it accomplished or neglected to accomplish in the course of its physical life. Freed from the limitations and concealments of the physical state, it can now see godliness. It can now look back at its own life and experience what it truly was. The soul's experience of the godliness it brought into the world with its mitzvahs and positive actions is the exquisite pleasure of Gan Eden, which is the Garden of Eden or paradise. Its experience of the destructiveness it wrought through its lapses and transgressions is the excruciating pain of Gehenna or purgatory. The truth hurts. The truth always cleanses and heals. The spiritual pain of Gehenna, the soul's pain in facing the truth of its life, cleanses and heals the soul of the spiritual stains and blemishes that its failings and misdeeds have attached to it. Freed of this husk of negativity, the soul is now able to fully enjoy the immeasurable good that its life engendered and bask in the divine radiance emitted by the godliness it brought into the world. For a godly soul spawns far more good in its lifetime than evil. The core of the soul is unadulterated goodness. The good we accomplish is infinite, the evil but shallow and superficial. So even the most wicked of souls, say our sages, experiences at most 12 months of Gehenna, followed by an eternity of heaven. Furthermore, a soul's experience of Gehenna can be mitigated by the action of his or her children and loved ones here on earth, reciting Kaddish and engaging in other good deeds such as lighting up memorial candles in merit of and for the elevation of the departed soul means that the soul, in effect, is continuing to act positively upon the physical world, thereby adding to the goodness of its physical lifetime. The soul, for its part, remains involved in the lives of those it leaves behind when it departs physical life. The soul of a parent continues to watch over the lives of his or her children and grandchildren to derive pride or pain from their deeds and accomplishments and to intercede on their behalf before the heavenly throne. The same applies to those to whom a soul was connected with bonds of love, friendship, and community. In fact, because the soul is no longer constricted by the limitations of the physical state, its relationship with its loved ones is, in many ways, even deeper and more meaningful than before. However, while the departed soul is aware and cognizant of all that transpires in the lives of its loved ones, the souls remaining in the physical world are limited to what they can perceive via the five senses as facilitated by their physical bodies. We can impact the soul of a departed loved one through our positive actions, but we cannot communicate with it through the conventional means, speech, sight, physical contact, etc., that prior to its passing defined the way that we related to each other. Indeed, the Torah expressly forbids the idolatrous practice of necromancy, mediumism, and similar attempts to make contact with the world of the dead. Hence, the occurrence of death, while signifying an elevation for the soul of the departed, is experienced as a tragic loss for those it leaves behind. And what's coming next?